inside the house.
English. Oh, Carrie's here. I haven't seen Carrie in a long time.
Hello.
Hi, Carrie. I
How are
can't,
you?
good. I can't see you though. I can see your name.
I don't usually turn my camera on too much.
Oh, okay. I just haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Now I assume you're at your home, Carrie?
Yes.
Is that, what town is that in? I forgot.
Westfield.
Westfield, yes. Hmm. Hey, Jeff.
Hi, how are you?
Nice to see you, neighbor.
Good to see you too. Are you still here or are you up in Vermont?
No, I am here. I don't own that house yet. Soon I will, but not yet.
Mhm, mhm.
I'm still here. And then once I own that house, I'll be in both places.
When do you think it's going to happen, Chuck?
Well, I think that I think I will be an owner of that house in Vermont, probably in December sometime.
Oh, great.
But we will obviously during the winter months, we will be going back and forth. So I'll be here quite a lot. You can't leave this house too long,
Right, right.
in the winter. Pipes freeze. So I still walk by your house almost every day.
Oh, I guess we have different times. I never see you.
Right.
Well, good to see you on Zoom anyway.
Yes, very nice. Probably the first time I've ever seen you on Zoom.
You're not missing much, Chuck.
Well, you look the same on Zoom and in person.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah, that must be Deacon with a little D. What's your quorum? 4?
Quorum is 4.
Yeah. I'm just here for guidance. So there's no decisions. Steve.
And how are the grandchildren, Chuck?
They're very, very good, although I haven't seen them in a little while, but I expect to be seeing them quite a lot soon. And that's why I'm moving up there.
I know. Well, you're going to be in the adjoining town, my understanding.
Yeah, I'll be in Shelburne. They're in Richmond. I think they do border.
Yeah.
Maybe, but 20 minutes away, 22 minutes away to be exact.
Nice.
Hey, Deacon, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. You?
Very good.
Good.
I think Jeff is gonna actually put my plan up on the screen, which
Oh,
I'm
good. Oh, good.
I'm looking at it right here, but it's pretty easy
Well,
to explain.
Your main question was about the payment, right?
Well, yeah, Jeff resolved it for me, so I don't want to fight about it. I'll pay the $77.
77.
That's what he said. Is it an ANR 77?
I think he meant to say 70.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's a tip.
He was here.
I probably misheard him.
Well, you got to get the 10%, you know?
I probably misheard him. It's like an odd number, but hey, Michael.
Hey Chuck, did you move yet?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you move yet?
No, I don't. I only own one house right now, but I think likely next month I'll own 2 houses.
That's cool. So are you gonna be in Burlington or outside?
I'll be in Shelburne.
Okay,
Shelburne is, well, I can get
It's
there.
south.
Yeah, I can get in Shelburne to Burlington. It's 13 minutes.
yeah, I have a good friend in the area, so I go up a lot.
Yeah, it's both of them border Lake Champlain.
Mhm.
They're very close to each other. And there's a lot of traffic between Burlington, South Burlington, which is a separate town, and Shelburne. Those 3 all Chittenden County.
And you, Chuck, you can get to hang out at Shelburne Farms.
Yes, for free.
Yeah, you're a
Yeah.
member?
No. Not yet for free, but once I actually become a resident of Vermont, then all residents of Vermont, of Shelburne, Vermont, have free access to Shelburne Farms.
That's great.
Yeah, just they just give that as a freebie to Shelburne residents, but not the Shelburne Museum. We have to pay for that.
Right.
Although during the summer, there are free concerts at the Shelburne, jazz and classical and, all kinds of concerts.
Wonderful.
So
I
that-
see that we have a quorum. I'll call the meeting to order.
Okay,
Um,
hi, Jeff.
you all set, Carrie?
Yeah.
Good, good. So let's start with public comment. If someone needs to leave or wants to talk about something not on the agenda, this is the time to speak up.
So Deacon, I had a question for you, and this
Please.
is your preference. I sent an email just about a little while ago, so I'm sure hardly anyone saw it, but I wanted to just touch base about the marijuana related email. So I don't know if you want to do that in unanticipated business or now. What would be your preference? It's pretty
I
short.
think let's do it later.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because we want to get through a couple of things. Whitman and the engineer are due at 7:30, so I was hoping we could get through what Chuck's business and the first refusal.
Okay, looks like Miriam's got her hand up.
Okay, I think that I know that Miriam had a query on the email, which I would suggest if that's what she wants to talk about, that we should do that later when we talk to Mr. Whitman. I don't,
Sure, that's great. Thanks.
that's good, Miriam?
Yeah, that's great. Thanks.
Perfect, perfect. So Chuck, tell us what you're trying to tell us where you are.
I think that I have in front of me a huge plan, but I think Jeff, are you gonna put it on on the screen so I can talk about it? I mean, so that you can all see it?
Okay,
I can talk about it. It's not that.
yeah, why don't you talk for a minute and I'll see if I can find it.
Okay. All right. For those of you who don't know, which is almost all of you, except for Deacon and Jeff, I'm looking at the signatories on this approval not required on 11 during November of 2016. Before November of 2016, to be exact, on March 28th, 2016, this planning board granted myself and my wife Joan and my daughter Jenna a special permit under the open space design sections of the zoning bylaws, and pursuant to that special permit, the planning board made very specific findings, in fact, 4 of them, unanimously voted. I think the only 2 that are here still, Jeff Lacy and Deacon, Mr. Aaron's, Mr. Armstrong, and Mr. Thompson also voted. But essentially, this allowed me to take a bunch of acreage, a real lot of acreage, and take at least 80% of it. I took actually 88% of it, but I was only required to take 80% of it. And I put conservation restrictions on a whole bunch of my land, 88% exactly. 24 of those acres were sold, still under a conservation restriction, town of Amherst. That included 3 building lots, which they cannot build on. But they still paid fair market value as if they were building lots. And the town of Amherst now owns 24 of those acres. And I still have approximately 14 acres of my remaining land still forever under a conservation restriction. And the special permit allowed me to have 3 building lots. One building lot is the house I already had and that I've lived in now for almost 27 years. Another building lot was, we call lot 3. Ultimately, I sold lot 3, which was 1.28 acres. And then there was another building lot that on the plan is labeled proposed lot. And that is 2.725 acres. And so the special permit requires that if I want to make any changes to the plan, I come before you and do so. And part of what it contemplated was that I go through an A&R process. There it is. Okay, there it is. So if you all look at where my home is lot 1. If you can all see that, lot 1. See, yeah, Jeff's there, lot 1. And you'll see over to the right of lot 1, you'll see this conservation area 2. And that's it perfectly. And that's a little bit more than 11 acres. And if you go way down, you'll see what's called conservation area 1. And yeah, it's around right where Jeff is pointing right now. Okay. Part of conservation area 1 was sold. Actually, it never really became conservation area 1, but 24 acres of it was parceled out and given to the and conveyed to the town of Amherst.
Can I interrupt for a minute?
Sure, Michael, is that Michael? Hi,
Yeah.
Michael. Go
Hi,
ahead.
Chuck. I just in terms of process, it's mostly for Deacon, but I mean, if this is the long process, it's not really public comment. It should just be on the agenda. So, you know, like
Well,
the
this is,
public would know.
Well, this is, I'm sorry.
I mean, I know we're getting the background, but I don't know how, like, if this is a whole big discussion thing.
No, I'm almost done. I'm almost
Oh,
done.
really? Okay, cool.
I should be done in about 3 minutes because I'm asking
Okay,
for 3 changes. Okay, so I'm asking for 3 changes. Well, one is, if you read the special permit, you'll see that lot A, Jeff, can you go to lot A to show what that is? Lot A,
Was
which is
that,
the other side of my lot. It's right, it abuts my lot 1. See, yeah, further up. Yeah, there it is, almost up. Keep going. That's it. That's it. Lot up. Get in there. Up higher. Up higher. A little higher.
There?
No. Right below. Not lot A. There's lot A. Is that little space between lot 1 and the conservation? See it? It's 1 acre. Okay. You keep going up with your arrow just a little bit. Now to the left.
it's the white stuff.
There it is. There it is. You got it. Okay.
okay,
So that one, at the time, my daughter Jenna owned that lot.
okay, I think I see it. It's right sort of in there.
Exactly. And
Okay,
the special permit, part of the process was I was to convey that lot in whole, Jenna was to convey that lot. That lot was to be conveyed in whole or in part to the owners of lot 1, or in whole or in part to the owners of the ultimate owners of proposed lot 2. So the first change I want to make to this plan is that has been accomplished. Jenna conveyed that a little bit more than 1 acre to myself and to my wife. So that's been done. So I simply want to change on the plan, the present plan that was approved and recorded in on January 3rd on 2017, approved by this board on 11/14/16, has Jenna as the owner. She is not the owner. I and Joan are the owner. So the first thing I want to do is change lot A to the rightful owners, which is Joan and I. Okay, very simple And I'm having the plan redone, but I want to talk to you before I go through the expense. And then another change on lot 3. If you go down to lot 3, which is Kathleen Lugosh owns that. Yep, there it is. She now owns that. I owned that at the time. And so we want to change that, the plan, to show that she owns it. Okay, very simple. And then the third change is on which was called lot 2, but ultimately on the plan that was recorded and that you approved and that you signed, it was called proposed lot 2. And I want to change the name of proposed lot 2 to lot 2. As simple as that. And I'll just for way of background is we kept it as proposed lot 2 because the planning board was certainly happy with that because that would delay building. And we were happy with that. That is my wife and I, because we didn't have to pay building lot taxes on it. But now we want to change it to lot 2. Not that there's going to ever be any building there, but at least as many of you might know, my house is on the market, and our realtors prefer that it's marketed, our house, with a building lot nearby. So we want to make that change too. And the only one, and that's it, as simple as that. The only other thing I want to ask you what you think is whether I should erase the line, or, I know I don't have to, but I can erase the line between lot 1, which is where I presently live, and not building lot, but called lot A. I could erase it and just merge them. That would give some more tax money to the town if I did that. So I might do that too. I know I'm not required to do that at this time, and I can leave it for the next owners of lot 1. But that's what I want to do. And I guess there was a question whether I had to pay a fee, and I have to pay. I guess I talked to Jeff separately about this, and he said, yes, I have to pay a fee because I'm going through the A&R process. And I understand now that fee is $70, right? Jeff, it's $70, right, Jeff? Okay, good. I got 77, okay. So anyway, that's it. And that's what I want to do. And I'd like to come back next year in January.
Not till January.
Yeah, well, again, here's a tax question. I want to delay it, so, when you probably know this, and maybe you don't know this, but I do, because I've done a lot of tax work, with our town many times, many cases. And the question becomes always when the town assesses taxes, who owns the land, who owns the property on one date, January 1st? Who owns the property on January 1st? In this case, it'll be January 1st, 2023. And I prefer not to own a building lot on January 1st, 2023. I prefer to delay that for another year before they assess it as such.
So Chuck,
Yes.
this would be, I think as we discussed, this would be a 2-part process. The first of which is you come in with an A&R with the plan, the Form A, the fee, and we look at that. And once we sign that, then you can go back and revise this plan that goes with your overall project, which is approved by site plan review. And then you want us to memorialize that new plan that has the notations that you described.
But I definitely understand that, and I definitely agree with that. But is it possible if I come back sometime in January with that new plan, right? It's an A&R plan essentially, and you approve it, and then we go right immediately into the other, amending I guess it's amending the special permit to put all this stuff in there. Can we do that like simultaneously or right after the other?
I gotta jump in.
Yeah.
Chuck, I hate to be a hard ass about it. I like you. You're a ZBA chair. all that stuff, but this is an agenda item. It's not a public comment. It wasn't on the agenda.
You said,
Planning
well,
board didn't know about it. So
It's under landowner education and guidance.
it's all
that's
is-
what that is. That's what it is. Okay, great. I thought we were under public comment, so I was like having this
Oh,
hard
no,
time.
there was no public comment and we moved on.
Thank you. Okay, then I'm totally good.
It's
Okay,
Education and guidance, that's all it
That's-
is.
yeah,
you
no,
know?
no, that makes sense. I thought we were doing public comment, so it was like, I had no idea. My apologies. Continue, please.
Yeah, it's education and guidance. You know, I believe I know what I need to do. There's a little bit of fine tuning. I wasn't sure if I had to pay a fee. Now I know I have to pay a fee. And the other part of it is I think it's pretty straightforward. And the only question remaining, the only guidance I now need is the question Jeff pointed out that there's a two-part to this process. And there's no question there is. And the only question I have about that is, can I do them both in the same night? That's the question. So that's the further guidance that I need. Or do I have to schedule two meetings to do that? I can do that too. If I have to, I'll do it. I mean, so Jeff, what,
I am of the opinion in this case that you can, because there's no appeal on A&R. It's not like a special permit or something where there's 21-day appeal period, so it might be appealed. There is none for the A&R. So if we signed your A&R, we could probably do the other one in the same night. I would think. That's my opinion.
okay. And let me just talk about that for a second. So let's say we follow your opinion, Jeff. And let's say I come in with the new A&R, you know, which says who owns what land, and just, you know, Jenna doesn't own that piece, Joan and I do, and Kathleen Lugosh owns lot 3, and that we take away the word proposed to this lot 2. So let's say you give me the A&R on that night, and so the next part of the process is I assume there's a motion to amend the special permit just to change just to make it conform with everything. Is that what it is? Jeff? What is I mean, I understand that there's another process, and I thought, because the special permit says,
Well, Chuck, wait a minute. If you do an A&R and
Right.
it labels lot 3 as as owned by Kathleen Lugosh,
right,
and then, let's see.
and then lot A is owned by.
All right, you have 3 issues here. So I'm trying to figure out what needs to be changed on this site plan review, this site plan. I mean, up there, it says to be conveyed to lot 1 or to lot 2.
Right,
So you're fine with that. It's going to be conveyed to lot 1. So,
well, it already has been conveyed 2 years ago.
right. So I'm not sure this plan has to be changed because it allows for the conveyance. So,
Yeah, but if I'm gonna have it updated, I might as well say
Right.
what it says.
but what I'm trying to figure out is if you have to really update this original site plan.
Well, I do, because right now it says proposed lot 2 on the plan that was approved.
Okay, so we're not looking at the one that's approved. We're
They're
looking at,
not. You're looking, what you're looking at is what was proposed, and then we made a decision that we would change the word lot 2, which you have here, to proposed lot 2. So now on the real plan that you approved, that you signed, and that's recorded at the Registry of Deeds, where it says lot 2, it says
okay.
proposed lot 2.
Well, Chuck, what I'm saying is you could take care of all of this on an A&R plan, I think.
Okay,
You could show Kathleen owning lot 3.
right,
You could describe lot 2 any way you want on that A&R plan. In fact, you're paying for its creation, so you're creating it there.
right,
And then the A&R plan would show that lot, what is it? A is merged with lot 1. So
yeah,
So everything could, I think everything that you want to do could be accomplished with that A&R plan.
Period.
That gets signed and that can go off to the registry. I
Okay.
don't think you need to do anything to this one.
Okay, we'll just make note that, because it does say in the condition, let me see. Only, it says, let me see, no material changes to the approved plan cited above shall be undertaken until reviewed and approved by the planning board. So I guess,
Right, we could do that through the A&R process,
okay, so that's only okay,
which is not contradictory to
Right.
this original plan of ours.
right, okay. Excellent.
That's
All right.
well, that's my opinion as a one member. So-
All right.
So-
Deacon,
so-
different opinion, since you were participated in this, do you have a different opinion or?
No, I was just gonna say, when you, let me know when you want to do this. That's all.
Well,
When
you let.
when you're
you let
ready
me
with
know.
your plan.
When's your first meeting in January or your second meeting? When's your first two meetings in January? What are
I
the
haven't
dates?
looked.
Okay.
Like one meeting in January would be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
It's always a Monday.
Yeah, it would be the 9th.
Nice, yeah.
So why don't we, I'll shoot for the 9th. You know, I'll get on the, I'll communicate with my, Daniel Stass from, I guess what it is, Northeast Surveyors, I guess, that's where he works. I'll communicate with him tomorrow. He can make these changes in 10 minutes, so I gotta pay some money for it, $500, but that's okay. Now, and then I'll let you know when it's ready, and I guess the process is, I will deliver the Mylar to you, Deacon, and as many copies as I want, and you probably
Well,
about,
well, I mean, you know, in COVID, you deliver it to the town clerk.
okay, I will. And now, by the way, just so you know, I went to the town clerk, you know, at her published hours, and she was not there. I talked to the town administrator about where she was, and they told me she'd be back in the morning. So this time, instead of coming up, I called and she wasn't there either. So,
Well, I was told she was sick today.
okay, all right. Because all I'm trying to do is get Form A. Is there any other way I can get Form A without going to her? I mean, you know, Jeff, do you have copies of Form A that you can maybe?
Well,
Can we
Email
print
it.
that off the website?
I
they
didn't, I
might-
tried, I couldn't
they
find it.
might exist on the planning board website somewhere under forms.
I tried to look for it, but I couldn't find it. I'll look again.
I'm
Maybe,
I'm looking now, Chuck, so I can confirm in a second.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. Form A. And the only other thing is while Michael is doing that, I'd like to have permission from the board so that I can consult with Jeff Lacy about appropriately. I have my old Form A here. I see it. I
It
have
is on the website, Chuck.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, there's a section called Forms and Materials. It's under
So,
there.
okay. So I go to the planning board, go to the website, town website, go to planning board, and
Yep,
then forms and materials, right?
yep,
Okay, and then once I'm there, I can print Form A out, right?
correct.
It's still one page?
Presumably it hasn't changed, but I can tell you in a second.
Okay, one page. You can see my old Form A there that I signed.
Yeah.
2 pages.
It's
And
two pages.
only the first page.
Oh, no, the first page, the second page is for planning board use only. So yeah, only one
Okay.
page.
All right, so I know you got 5 minutes, that's it. But
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
yeah, I am. The second part is just the deeds and the books. Well, this one, can I consult with Jeff? That's all I'm asking. So I can talk to Jeff about making sure I fill it out properly. I'll do a draft and I'll give it to Jeff. And we can talk. Is that okay? Just that part of the process?
I don't see why not.
Okay, great. Excellent. All
Okay,
right.
so just give me a call when you're ready.
I will give you a call and I'll shoot for the 9th.
Yeah.
And I'll, and I'll work diligently over the next few weeks to make sure Form A is done and I have a new plan and I'm gonna deliver it to the town clerk with a $70 fee. Okay, and I'm gonna give probably 8 copies. And she'll give them to you, Deacon, is that right?
Well,
You'll get them.
I'll get them. Yeah. Okay,
All right.
let's move on to right of first refusal.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Good to see you, Chuck. Bye.
Okay, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ah, there we go.
So I know that there was a right of first refusal notice that we heard about a little late. I don't think, so we should talk about it on the Greenbaum property. I mean, my sense is this is a perfectly ordinary transaction. I mean, and if we were going to give advice, we'd probably just not want the town to buy it.
Well, I'll just chime in. I mean, I asked for us just to have it on the agenda because it seemed like the select board was having their discussion and they were supposed to get input from the Concom and the planning board.
Yes.
And so I figured since we had time in the calendar before the town was required, I think there was 128 days, we should at least discuss it as opposed to like have it go by the wayside. I mean, I don't know much about the property and it costs $250,000. So I'm assuming that, no, it's for those who don't remember, it's that weird one off of Wendell Road where there's a little cutout. I could bring up the map if people wanted, but I mean, there's no reason that I think the town would want to buy it necessarily, although it's, 28 acres. And
Yeah.
if we wanted to have open space, that would be worthwhile. But unlike the property that, Kestra wanted to get last year that near Jeff's house that had some trail possibilities. I don't think Kestra was asking for it. It's, it's on the road, it's a decent spot, but I would agree. I don't know enough about it to have a compelling reason to do it, but I did want to just sort of confirm with the planning board that we
Yeah.
think this.
No, I think the only thing about right of first refusal issues with chapter 61 is we'd like to have notice, for the rare instance where we might want to suggest that the town do buy it, but overwhelmingly, these are, very ordinary transactions that
Yeah.
it's just the way you own it's just the way you own acreage.
Yeah, Deacon, there would be 2 major areas where the planning board might want to recommend something like this. Number one, as occurred with the Kestrel land, there were people in the area who knew the property well and championed the cause, brought it to the attention of the select board and the Concom and the planning board and everybody else, and got behind it. And there's no such coalition behind this piece of land that I've heard of. And number 2, it could be a piece that the town has been eyeing for a certain municipal purpose. Or might be suitable for a municipal purpose. And, because right of first refusal means the town gets it. The town buys it for the asking price. And, that's a big investment. So I'm aware of nothing, and the select board is aware of nothing that it has in mind for that piece. So those are probably the 2 major eventualities that would cause us to recommend acquisition.
Right.
There was something in maybe the master plan or something like that, right? Talking about putting together like a mechanism so that if there was a situation where there was a piece of land that was, ideal land for conservation and, you know, the town could buy it and then sell it to, you know, sell it to like a Kestrel Land Trust or an entity like that that deals with land conservation. But, you know, absolutely, like you said, Jeff, without a coalition or some program like that in place, you know, it would just be putting a lot of money into a plot of land without any kind of mechanism to further, you know, dispose of it or to do anything with it. So, yeah, I mean,
So I guess there could be more discussion, but I guess I would move that we, that the planning board make no recommendation or have our recommendation be a neutral one on this piece of land.
Which I support you making a motion. That just it should probably be a better one than that.
Yeah, it was like an A or B motion.
How about suggest that the town not exercise its right of first refusal?
So move.
Second.
I'll second that.
Okay, so I'll call the roll. Nathan,
aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Michael,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Robert,
Aye.
Jeff Weston,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
It's been a long, drawn out thing. Thank you.
I'm afraid
Almost welcome
everything-
to town.
I've owned that land for 50 years, but it's not listed.
Oh,
in
soda.
the- It's not listed as that I own it, and I've owned it since 1972.
Wow.
Okay,
And I haven't paid taxes on it a year. They hadn't figured out how to send me a tax bill since last November, when I sold off the house lot, which you approved in October. So thank you. That part's squared away.
Don't worry, you'll get a retroactive bill, no problem.
No, the other people have been paying it. The people who bought the house have been paying my taxes, according to the collector. But
let's,
anyway, thank you. I appreciate it.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Right.
Aye.
Let's move on to the Whiteman Special Permit Project.
Deacon and I did go out there on, what was it, over the weekend?
Sunday.
Yes. And some of us have been out on that property multiple times. So this was another excursion.
Yeah, I know.
But if we're just having a general planning board discussion of that project, I do have to bring up that the form that was used to apply for this was a site plan review form, and when in fact it needs to be a special permit. That was one of the changes that we made in that last bundle of changes to this section, that we changed these type of non-subdivision applications from site plan review to special permit. So that's the process we need to follow, the special permit process.
Excuse me.
Oh,
I'm upset,
please.
Nikki. I was the person that put together that package, and it's my design. I believe that there should have been a special permit application as well with the site plan review application.
Yeah. Carrie's got her hand up.
There
We
was a
could-
special permit application along with it when I went through it and sent it out.
Yeah,
Okay, so they were
It's
both.
it's
filed-
one special permit and then one site plan review application.
Okay. So that's good. They were delivered at the same time?
Correct. It should have been within the
Yes.
same bundle.
Okay, so at the chair's request, I had a conversation with our town attorney today about this project. And she suggests that that you withdraw the site plan review application, that you do it formally at the meeting so it can go into the minutes, because that's the wrong process. So just so there's no clock ticking on that anymore, we need to snuff that out and go with the special permit.
Okay, can we formally take back the site plan review application? Withdraw it?
Can we do this? Could we do that at the hearing in December? Is that a problem?
Well, we're starting to approach deadlines on the site plan review. Donna suggested that they propose it at our meeting, and then based on that proposed withdrawal, the planning board makes a motion, gets a second, discusses it, and votes on accepting the withdrawal of the site plan review. Then that's not going anymore, and we just concentrate on the special permit.
Can we do that without Mark Whitman's approval?
I'm
right here.
He's here.
Oh, I didn't see him. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't get the video on.
So Mark, the site plan review is meaningless. We don't have both a site plan review and a special permit that run concurrently. It's either one or the other in Shutesbury. So you've got two of them. One's the right permit and one's the wrong permit. But our town attorney wants you to withdraw the incorrect permit. So there's no question about any time clock running on it.
I think that's fine as long as Mark, we've got two Marks here, so I'm talking about Mark Stagnitke. Mark, you see no problem with that?
I do not if they don't require it. I couldn't find where it says that they don't require it when I was looking through the bylaws. So most places, when there's a special permit required, or site plan reviews attached to it. So that's why we sent both in. But if it's not necessary, then yes, it should be withdrawn.
That's fine
have,
then.
In our special permit process, it talks about incorporating elements of a site plan review and elements of those types of plans, but not as a separate site plan review application, just incorporating that into your special permit.
Okay, so I misunderstood that.
Yeah, so we'll follow your recommendation on how to remove it.
So I will make a motion that we accept the withdrawal of the site plan review application for this project.
Second,
Okay, more discussion? I'll
There's
call
a
the
hand
roll.
raised.
Oh, who has it? I'm sorry, I don't,
Miriam has her hand raised.
okay. Miriam,
Oh, when you're done with your vote, I have a question.
oh, okay. I'll call the roll. Nathan,
Aye.
Jeff Weston,
Aye.
Steve Bressler,
Aye.
Robert Raymond,
aye.
Jeff Lacy,
Aye.
Michael DeCara,
Aye.
I'm an aye. Did I miss anybody? All right, good.
All right, so now on with the special permit.
Okay, Miriam,
Hi, thanks. I do have a couple questions, but I don't know if you want to get through your stuff. Maybe you'll answer it and then.
well, I know that you sent out an email trying to get clarification on what the Concom's role was with respect to the special permit application. So I thought this was
Okay.
this was a good time to
Yeah, so
clarify.
I got my questions a little bit more focused. I'm kind of getting myself a little bit more familiar with this because I haven't gone through this particular process yet since I've been on the commission. So my understanding is that the landowner wishes to offer at some stage in this process will offer a conservation restriction to the town, presumably to the Conservation Commission. And there'd be a review process to review the language of that CR, and the Conservation Commission would need to comment on that. So one question I have is, is the special permitting for you in any way linked to that process? Like, do they need to get the CR nailed down in order for you to grant the permit? So are they linked in some way? So that was my first question. And then the second question, which came about from reaching out to the Marks who are here tonight. And my question was that there's an old easement on this parcel to Coles, or, to the Jones family, now the Coles. And the most recent email I got from Mark, I think it was Mark Whiteman, I think said this, that you didn't think that the easement, you're not exactly sure, and I might be getting this wrong, that you're not exactly sure where that easement is because it's really old and the references are unclear, but you don't think it's in the area that would be under the conservation restriction. So I guess my question would be, we might want to get that really ironed down where that easement is, if it still exists, in order to approve the conservation restriction. So that was my question.
Miriam, can I address your two issues here?
Yeah, please do. Help
Okay.
me out.
The applicant needs to find a holder for the conservation restriction. The land itself, the ownership could stay with the owner, with the lot owner, in fact, just like it is at the Old Orchard.
Yeah.
And the other projects that we've approved here, but the conservation restriction needs to have a holder.
Right. That's what I mean.
Right, the holder can be the Shutesbury Conservation Commission. It could be the State Department of Fisheries and Wildlife. It could be the DCR. It could be a land trust. The two that we've done, the first one, Chuck Damari's, the Conservation Commission holds that restriction. The second one that we did for Mark Olszewski, the Franklin Land Trust holds that one. So the applicant needs to find a holder. So it sounds like they're requesting that the Shutesbury Conservation Commission be the holder.
That's what I understand.
Right. So that's not an obligation on your part, but you can certainly consider it.
Right.
The other thing about the easement, my understanding was that it's not mapped. It's there in deed wording, but it's not mapped anywhere. And I mentioned that to the town council today, and she believes that there's case law in Massachusetts that says when the easement is that way, it's not on any map, it's just described, the owner can, on their initiative of what she called set the easement, can establish a pathway for the easement if it's ever to be exercised. So that might be something the applicant could consider doing, perhaps in conjunction with Coles, so that suddenly Coles trucks are not rolling through the front yard of the house that's going to be built there.
Or through the CR, if it's the conservation.
It probably has to be through the CR, because the land is accessed by a narrow strip, a narrow pole that goes 500 or 600 feet back. And then the developed area is sort of right there, the end of that pole, think of like a lollipop. But then there's the whole larger area around that is the CR. So in order for Coles to get to its land, which I presume is in the back, they'd have to go through the CR, with some type of logging access. Now, there's no way not to.
Okay. All right. So it would be up to the landowner. It wouldn't be a part of the special permit process to get that ironed out. It would be just voluntary on the part of the landowner.
Yeah, but the town attorney felt it would behoove the landowner to resolve it. By setting the easement if necessary.
So the right of way is explained to a certain extent, being the eastern boundary 25 feet wide, which makes no sense at all because it suggests that or states that easement starts at Leverett Road and then follows the eastern boundary of the property. And there is no access from Leverett Road on the eastern boundary of the property. I knew the players involved. I knew Mr. Scott and I knew Mr. Jones, and I know that they gave each other easements all over the place on a lot of things they owned. Whether this is pertinent at this point or not, I don't think that either one of them looked at a survey or did a lot of research when they wrote this. They just put it in the deed. So I don't know if it's even realistic. I mean, I don't think there's an actual ability to use this easement because it doesn't meet the requirements. It doesn't match the actual setup of the land. The other side of it is, even if we agree to an area, myself and Coles, as to how they would proceed, there's no way to get to Coles land now in 2022 because the wetlands have been delineated, and well, I suppose they could, but they would have to replicate wetlands, as far as I can see, any way to get over to their parcel. So the road that used to go all the way back there no longer goes there. We haven't gone past that wetland, or I haven't in a long time. And I don't see any access to their property without a massive amount of work back there, a lot of tree cutting and also a lot of replication work, because they'd have to go through the wetlands. So I don't know how we set one, but I could make a call to Evan Jones and have him set me up with his sister, whoever he thinks we should speak to discuss it. I just don't see the wording on in the deed matching anything on the parcel. And when they were, as I said to Miriam in my email today, right after I purchased this property, I was called by Coles to meet one of their people up there. They wanted to make sure they were securing their easement, didn't know what I was going to be doing with it. And they believed that the easement was between 117 and 113 Leverett Road, which I own, the eastern boundary of 113 Leverett Road, perhaps. But again, this gentleman who came out, he couldn't figure out where it was being suggested. So we're sort of up in the air as to whether really it just doesn't follow the plan of land at all, and the cost to actually use the right of way would be exorbitant. So I guess I could set it somewhere, but I would want to speak with somebody with a little more intelligence on this issue than because I don't want to give them something more than what they currently have, and I don't think they have anything.
Yeah, our town council suggested that we shouldn't be giving you advice on what to do, just alerting you to a few things, and then letting you consult with your own counsel about how to deal with the easement.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, and I'll bring it up with the person I use for conservation issues, and we'll go from there. But if Miriam, if we were going to use the town as Conservation Commission as the holder, then I would make sure we have this conversation. I'll have an opinion from attorney, and we'll proceed with however that works to make sure that the Conservation Commission is comfortable with whatever the attorney describes as the way to go forward with it.
Just as a FYI, and I don't know how this would work with a CR, so this is a question maybe also we would need to ask our town council. But an access road for Coles to cut an access road through a wetland, it's potentially exempt from the wetlands regulations if they're doing it for commercial agriculture, commercial forestry. Because that's an exempt activity. It's regulated in a different kind of way. We don't oversee it. It's overseen overseen by DCR. So that remains to be seen, but potentially, you know, they do build wetland crossings.
Sure.
And the only other question I had was, just so I understand the process. So this is an open space plan application. It's not you're not at this point proposing building. Or are you?
Correct. No, I'm
because-
just looking to get the open space permit approved and in place.
And then at some later point, when the house is going to be built, the Conservation Commission would have to review it for permitting purposes, because it looks like you'd be building within 100 feet of the wetlands, or no? Is that?
No,
There's enough
that-
space.
yeah, we have a
Actually, I
lot
can
of
show you
space.
the plan.
Because I thought I
There's a-
saw that there was a plan for building within 50 feet, et cetera, at 50 feet. Maybe I read it wrong.
No, we show on the plan, the 50-foot setback and the 100-foot setback, but the house is sitting in an open area that is not encumbered by either one of those setbacks.
Right. Okay, great. Because we already did the ANRAD, so I know that that's all set, but I just was a little unclear about that. Thank you. I'm done.
You're very welcome. Thank you for bringing it up too. I appreciate it.
I have one question. I know that the building rights calculation produced a number of 2. You're only applying for 1. How exactly do we do that? I mean, what sort of, how do we note that we're later on that we're only permitting one building lot, not the 2 that are possible?
So Deegan, when this goes through, it's not going through with an application for a shared driveway. It's an individual driveway. So in the permit that we write, we can specify what's allowed out there potentially. And
Okay.
as we were talking about in the field, it could be a duplex. Because I believe they're entitled to 2 units. It could be in the form of a duplex, because that can be serviced by an individual driveway. It could be a single family dwelling, or it could be a single family dwelling with an attached or detached accessory apartment. Those are all the things you can do on an individual driveway. So if there's no accompanying special permit for a shared driveway, then that's the way we'll condition the permit. So, but then it's up to them what they wish to build there. They can build up to 2 units. So that could be a duplex. Even if they choose not to go, to only build a single family, that's up to them.
Okay, so you're saying that the controlling thing is the lack of a common driveway?
Yes, because if there was a common driveway and we approved it by special permit, then there could be 2 single-family dwellings out there.
Right.
But that's not up to us. I mean, that's their ceiling. So they need to decide how to go.
Okay. So do we want to say more about this project? I mean, we have to be careful about what we say.
Right. Mostly now it's getting a hearing noticed and advertised and everything. I have it down for the 12th of December.
Yeah.
And I believe we need to share this application with a few other boards and do everything that we're supposed to do on that special permit checklist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to jump in, but I've already done all that and the notice is already on it's already sent out, so it'll be posted on appropriate dates.
Very good.
Yeah, what do we know about the, maybe we should straighten out what happened with the Jim Henry query. I mean, he was responding to an email, which couldn't have been the hearing notice. So I'm thinking we probably have to send out the abutters notices again, if they have already gone out.
I'm a bit confused. I'm sorry. I saw his email and I thought that was pertaining to the notices, which I did already send out.
Yeah, but the notices you sent out weren't for the hearing, were they?
Yeah.
Not the one that I wrote.
No, I didn't. It was for the ones I sent to the other planning boards and to the other boards in general. I can send out another one if you'd like.
Yeah, well, look, I'll come in tomorrow and we'll get this cleared up.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so do we have any more conversation about the process for dealing with this application? Do the Marks have any more queries?
No, thank you. I'm all set. Mark, are you all set?
Yeah, I'm all set. Thank you, guys.
So Deacon, in terms of our process, we know we've got a hearing next month on the 12th. We've got more than enough documents because we have the special permit that we're supposed to have in the site plan review that we don't need anymore. Is there anything else we should be looking for? Or is that basically universe of material currently?
I'm hoping we've covered it.
Okay, great.
Okay. I know Michael, you wanted to, I'll consider this topic done unless somebody wants to say something more. I know that you wanted to have some conversation about the solar stuff, Michael.
Well, let me thank you guys for your time, and I'll get off the Zoom now, but I appreciate the time and the input.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for your time. Have a good night.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Yeah, all I wanted to do with is I sent everybody the planning board report from the public hearing and wanted to just get board approval of it, since we'll then be submitting it to town meeting as our official report. So it seems like we should sign off on that. The two things I would say I wrote in the email, but unlike the usual report, which can be relatively brief, somewhere between a paragraph and a page, what Jeff and I talked to Donna about was using this report as yet another opportunity to document the rationale and understanding of the planning board. So if we ever needed to have a paper trail about what we were thinking and why we developed the bylaw the way we did, that it was documented. So that's why it's longer. That's by way of explanation. And then I know Jeff Weston had some edits. He sent me some that were typos, which were, no problem. But I thought in terms of process for things that were substantive, they weren't like earth-shattering substantive, but it seemed like if people had edits, we should just identify those now in public meeting.
So we've already been through a public hearing on this thing.
This is for the report, though. It's mostly the characterization of the report, not for the bylaw.
Okay, because unless it stemmed directly from the public hearing and was not too major, I don't think we can mess with the bylaw at this point, especially since the input came after the public hering. So,
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think we can't change the substance because then we're sort of revisiting things.
Right.
But I think in terms of the report, if there's things that people wanted to edit that I wrote up, that's really just, our document. So.
Yeah, we're free to do that. You bet.
No, I think any questions I have don't fall into that category about editing. So, so no comment then.
Okay. Well, Steve, if you have like a substantive thing on the report thing, I know Jeff wants to jump in, but I was just one author and I ran it by Donna and Jeff to make sure we were, accurate and covering the legal turf appropriately. But if there's, things that you all think would be better worded or something, lay it on me.
No, it's real. My question really is, I don't think falls within the realm. The question I have is how you tie in public health, safety and welfare to emotional and mental health, and I guess that's going to be done in the bylaw, if I understand that correctly.
Oh, yeah, you missed the last meeting.
I did, unfortunately. I was on the road.
Yeah, no. So we had a meeting with the Historic Commission and Donna made that point. And we ended up not including that in the last bullet. So I think I sent out.
I understand. It was in the notes though. And that's why I'm saying in reading the notes, that kind of jumped out at me, but it's not my comment's not appropriate in this context.
Got it. Okay.
Based on just what Jeff was saying about edits. So it's a long way of saying never mind.
Okay. Jeff Weston, you had things you wanted to share though, right?
I could, unfortunately, my furnace just came on in the background, but I assume that you had a chance to look at some of the wordsmithing I did. I don't feel I could tell you some of the other comments, but I don't feel overly strongly about them. I don't know how you read them, Michael. I don't know how you feel about me going over them or not. I feel fine not going over them and just accepting whatever you change.
Okay.
I mean, for my purposes, if they're not substantive changes, I'm okay letting them go, whatever edits you've made.
Yeah. Yeah, the ones that were not substantive didn't change anything. I think there was really only 2 editorial things, Jeff, that you put in.
Under legal comment, I changed something slightly.
Legal comment. Hold on, let me get there.
That's after all the bulleted.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the ones. Yeah.
I can read it. I just tried to write it in such a way that was clearer to me, but it might not be clearer to other people.
Well, why don't you read it?
Okay. The Tracer Lane decision requires that the basis of any zoning regulations, and I put to prevent the harming of the public health, safety, and welfare of Shutesbury residents. That's how I changed it. Rather than the basis of any zoning regulations to be preventing detriments to public health, safety, and welfare. I mean, I reworded it just to make it clearer for myself, but I don't feel overly strongly about needing to change them either.
Yeah, and the reason I use detriments is that was a term that Donna was using, so I thought I would just keep going with that one.
Okay, you can, that would be fine. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
And that was the, I guess, the most I changed anything.
Yeah, there was one earlier under, let's see what section it was. Proposed changes, the Dover Amendment uses any zoning regulation is supposed to put clearly stated.
I changed the top of the second page. It says so-called Dover Amendments uses any municipal zoning regulation regarding solar must be for the reasons of public health, rather than the so-called Dover Amendments uses but clearly stated that any zoning regulation. Again, it's just wordsmithing to make it clearer for me.
Yeah. So it's just to be clear, Jeff, the USES is uses, not uses. In zoning terms, uses are residential, commercial, industrial, solar, wind. That's a use. So that's the way that word should be connoted.
Right. I didn't change the uses. Why don't we, Michael, I feel fine just keeping it the way it was. That's fine.
Okay, okay. Well, I thank you for reading it. And
My
I did change the typos and the grammatical stuff because that's always better to, and I did that in both that and the bylaw one, because those are just typos.
Great. Thank you so much
so-
for reading them.
Sure. So I think if someone wants to move to accept the report, that might be good, and then we can just have it on record. So when we get to town meeting, we could say it was board approved.
Somebody want to make that motion?
I move Robert to accept the report.
Second. Second.
Okay, okay. More discussion? I'll call the roll. Steve Bressler,
Hey,
Robert,
Aye.
Jeff Weston,
Aye.
Michael,
Aye.
Jeff Lacy,
Aye.
Nathan.
Abstain.
Okay, I'm an aye. I don't think I missed anybody. Good. To move on to the minutes, I have failed to review them. I don't think we should do them tonight.
Carrie's got her hand up.
Carrie,
So I sent out the minutes that me, Deacon, and Michael have reviewed and edited together. That was sent on. Oh,
Oh.
no, never mind. Those were taken care of on the 17th. My apologies.
yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Good. So I will get to them and do them, and we'll, for another meeting.
So am I correct that July and August are approved, right? Did we approve those?
Yeah, also I believe the 0811 ones,
Mhm.
I think that was planning board. I don't know. Sometimes I confuse the Conservation Commission meeting dates with the planning board meeting dates. So
No,
that could have been,
Yeah, the 11-8 ones have been approved.
yeah.
Okay,
I think the last three that I sent out were approved on October 17th during that meeting. So the only ones that I've sent that still need to be approved.
I
Sorry.
think it's 9 and
Yes.
10.
yeah, I didn't find an October one, the September 12th.
No, I have, yeah, I sent 8/8/2022 on Tuesday, October 18th. And then I sent September 12th on October 20th.
Yeah, 8 and 9, I'm sorry. But I will get to those, Carrie.
Okay.
Deacon, you got time for unanticipated business or?
Absolutely,
Oh.
absolutely.
Well, Jeff, before we do that, is there any Wheelock reporting? It's on the agenda.
That's it.
Oh.
Yeah, I went out there the day after the hurricane that we had. I guess it was a tail end of some Ida or Ira, Ian or whatever. I took pictures. I have them here on my phone. All the water was running clear. The basin was still discharging through its small outlet pipe at the extreme north end. There was no evidence of it having gone over the weir, though. There was still ample water in it because it was only the day before, but it seemed to do its job. I didn't see any cloudy water, any evidence of sediment getting anywhere, no erosion on the road, and clear water running. So I thought that was pretty good.
Thank you for going out. Didn't even think about
Did you
that.
look at the ditches, Jeff?
I didn't go past that next gate.
Yeah, yeah.
Why, Jeff?
Huh?
Why?
It was actually a quickie. I had my truck full of somebody's junk and somebody from your road, and it just stopped in there on my way to the dump. So yeah, it was just a quickie while I was in the neighborhood. But-
You didn't unload your truck there, did you?
Well, I don't know. If I could have gotten in there, it would have been mighty tempting.
So I had another piece of unanticipated business. Deacon, can I raise that one?
Please, please.
Okay, so there's an exchange between Becky and this guy who wants to do a small marijuana cultivation. And so I just double checked to make sure, since it's our bylaw, I wanted to go back and refresh my memory of what the process was. And I think since Jeff now wears the zoning board of appeals chair hat, it's actually convenient. But my read of it is that there's a host agreement that's required. And that's between the select board and the applicant. And I think the host agreement, from what I could tell today, looking at the Cannabis Control Board's website, the host agreement has to get done before the license is approved, and the license application goes to the Cannabis Control Board. And then when it comes to the town for a special permit, they have to have the license, is my read of it. I can triple check, but I think that's the case. So I think at this point, the first part of it is the select board and the applicant figuring out the host agreement, of which I don't think there's a process currently. Then it goes to the state, and then they get the license, and then they come to town and do the application for the special permit. We have a particular use table for marijuana establishments, and the use table for tier 1 and tier 2 cultivation is the zoning board of appeals. So it wouldn't come back to us. It would go to the ZBA. But given that we were included in this exchange, I thought it would be worth doing a little research to double check those facts. Jeff, does that make sense to you?
Yep. It's either a site plan or a special permit, depending on which district they're located in, but it is zoning board, both the tier 1 and tier 2.
Yeah, I think it's special permits for both from what I looked, and then they're not allowed to like Wyoa, but that's irrelevant based on the location.
Site plan review, if it's in the FC, so if it's 500 feet back, it goes site plan review. If it's in RR along the road or TC town center, then it would be a special permit. So if it's up front and in your face, it's a special permit. If it's back in the woods, it's site plan, I believe.
Hold on, I'm just scrolling through. Almost there.
I'm just basing that on what you sent out today and having a look at that.
Oh, what I sent out? Oh, that thing with the underlines, right? Yeah. That's the place to look.
Yep.
Silly me. Yeah, okay. Well, if that's what it says, that's what it says. I don't have to look it up.
So, yep. We at the ZBA stand ready, all three of us.
All right. So, is there any more unanticipated business? I'd look forward to a motion to adjourn.
So
I'll
move.
make that motion.
Look,
Okay,
Second.
I'll call the roll. Nathan,
Aye.
Jeff Lacy,
aye.
Michael,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Robert,
Aye.
I'm an aye. Oh, and Jeff Weston, I'm sorry.
Aye.
I'm an aye. I think we got it.
Great. Could someone tell me when is the next meeting scheduled? Do you know?
December 12th.
12th.
December 12th. Thank you so much.
Have a good night, everyone.
Okay.
And that's the hearing.
And whatever else, right? We want to have more fun.
Yeah, so that's a
Plus.
right, so that's a special permit. So our quorum for that hearing is 5.
That's right.
So
That's right.
be there or be square.
I'll lean on people.
Could I ask another question? I'm sorry for, I know I should know this. But is it after that point that there's a possible vote on this with possibly the school roof as well? Could someone inform me of that? I'm not sure what's happening.
School
Who
roof.
knows?
These are
You're- you're-
different things.
You're talking about town meeting, Jeff?
I'm okay. I know. I know I'm talking about town meeting. Has that been established?
No.
Okay,
This is just our meeting. Our meeting is on the 12th and
Okay, great.
it includes this hearing and we need to have at least 5 people there.
okay, great.
Hopefully we have more people there. So if somebody drops out later, we're not in bad shape. But
I will definitely be there on the 12th.
Good. Well, I believe we're adjourned.
Okey dokey.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Good
you.
night, planning
Thanksgiving,
board.
everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.